Hello, this is Dave at TitleSearch.com. Today we're going to talk about a do-it-yourself title search. If you need a non-certified or non-insured title search, there may be a way to perform the title search process yourself. Let's go through the steps. First of all, step one, make sure you have a good property ID. The street address is not good enough. If it's 12 Main Street, you're not going to find records by that address. You need to get a good, valid legal description. Normally a legal description is going to be in Schedule A on a document, normally down here. It's usually 1 or 2 paragraphs of text. It may be on a separate page. So start with a deed or a mortgage that you have for that property and get that Schedule A legal description to get a good property ID. Address won't be good enough. Number 2, make sure you do your title search if you're doing it yourself in person, not online. Go to the records rooms and pull these pieces of paper by hand, because the online version is not the official title records. You're already taking one element of accuracy away by doing a non-certified do-it-yourself title search. Make sure you get the accurate records. If it's good enough or important enough to be done as a search, or you want the information, make sure you're getting the accurate official records. Online records are not official records. Even if those online records are coming from the county, if you log into the county website, those are not the official records. There may be errors, there may be omissions, not all the pages of the documents may show up. More importantly, there may be certain types of records that don't show up there. This brings me to number 3. Visit all 4 places to get the title records. All of the title records are not in one office. You need to visit the deed recorder, of course, or the recorder of deeds. Sometimes that's at the county clerk's office. You also should go to the civil court in that county. Civil court will hold things like judgments against an individual, tax liens, IRS judgments. There may be civil encumbrances against an individual that attach to their property. You want to get all of those items. They will not be in the deed recorder's office. And if, let's say, a person has a $50,000 IRS tax lien, they didn't pay their income tax, that will only show up in the civil court record. So make sure and take a look at that. Number 3, go to the probate records office. If there are any changes in the status of an individual, marriage, divorce, probate, wills, even sometimes heirs, those are things that will affect title but will not show up on a deed or in the deed recorder's office. So you got to visit the probate records office. It may be called something different in different states or counties. In some areas, there's a 4th location called prothonotary records, where they'll have other auxiliary records, cross-references, to where there's items that are being recorded on a property that aren't part of a deed or lien or mortgage. Sometimes easements may show up there. Sometimes things like mineral rights may show up there, so check prothonotary. If you really want to get a full accurate search, and it's important, also check UCC records at the Secretary of State, because those may have information that are pertaining to that property. Plan on about 1 or 2 hours for each location. By the time you get there and park and go in, and as you know, most government records offices are not customer friendly, kind of like going to the DMV, right? So plan on 1 or 2 hours each and get good records from all of those places. In most counties, there's at least 4 places to get all the records to run a title search. And then step number 4, make sure when you get those records, get copies of everything. Print out the copy, even if it might charge you 50 cents or $1 a page. Don't try to read them on the screen or in the deed book or in the microfilm. Get the actual copies, take them with you. Do all the reading and analysis later. Do that not in the courthouse. You'll be rushed. You may skip something. So get the copies. If it costs you, a little bit of money to get those physical copies, go ahead and do that, because there may be information there that's important. And then go ahead and read them. That's step 5. Take that pile of paperwork. This is what we do as a professional. We get those piles of documents, take them off-site, and read through them individually. Analyze what they say. Don't just look at if it's a deed, who's the seller, who's the buyer. Read through the terms and conditions. There may be subject to clauses. There may be liens built into a deed that you won't see unless you read through it line by line. Read everything in detail. And then number 6, use a good title form. Don't just scratch it out on a piece of paper. Get a good title form, an abstract form to put this information onto, even if it's not going to be a certified search or a non-insured search, because it's a do-it-yourself. Put it on a good form so you can read it, you can understand, and go through that flow chart of liens, releases, assignments to make sure you know what's still open. Because remember, a lien is still going to show up even if it's paid off. It will show in the title records in that same book that it was originally recorded in, but the release may show up later. So make sure that you use a good title form to account for all that. There you have it. That's how to run a title search. Make sure that you have all that information at your fingertips. If you have any questions, you can reach us at our website at titlesearch.com.